Influencers aren't just making videos anymore, they're building empires. Whether it's iShowSpeed's $5 million gamer palace or Kai Cenat's $10 million playground, all the houses on this list are incredible. So let's rank the most absurd over-the-top influencer houses. At number 6, it's iShowSpeed in the $5 million Chaos Villa. Speed lives in a $5 million house that looks completely normal from the outside, which is hilarious because the inside feels like the final boss level of a video game. This is where the entire decor theme is simply screaming. Yeah, the moment you walk into this place, you're greeted by the glow of 17 monitors blasting enough blue light to tan your friggin' soul. LEDs zigzagging around the ceiling like they were installed by somebody being chased by a cat. Speed even has a guest room that looks less like a place to sleep and more like a spawn point. Every chair in the house is permanently tilted 12 degrees forward like it's bracing for impact. Oh, and the floors probably flinch when he walks by. You can tell the architect designed this place for peaceful suburban living, and Speed said, nah, let's turn it into a meteor strike simulator instead. Even the backyard feels confused. One moment it's calm grass and fresh air, and the next moment Speed is out there shirtless yelling at fireworks like he's negotiating hostage terms. Every wall in his place probably has PTSD. These walls have heard screams, explosions, celebrations, barking noises, and whatever sound Speed makes when he forgets that he's live. The neighbors probably don't even check the clock anymore. They know that he started screaming because their windows begin vibrating like a spiritual warning. Yet somehow the funniest part is the house itself. It's a $5 million location, and instead of a home theater or a Zen garden, it's basically a giant amplifier for one man to yell at pixels. The whole property exists for high-octane energy and emotional damage. There is no peaceful corner. Even the kitchen feels like it's waiting to be screamed at. If Chaos had a real estate portfolio, this would be the flagship model. Speed's house is pure entertainment, but if my walls were vibrating at 3 a.m., I'd start charging rent to the energy in that place. It's loud, it's chaotic, and it's iconic, just not S-tier livable, solid B-tier for maximum chaos value. And at number 5, it's Adin Ross, the $8 million content casino. Okay, Aiden's $8 million mansion looks classy from the outside, like one of those luxury homes where someone says, please remove your shoes, and then you walk through the front door and immediately know shoes are the least of your problems. This place is a live stream waiting to happen. There are shoes nobody can identify, voices coming from rooms that shouldn't exist, and random people wandering around holding lighting equipment like they live there. Spoiler, they don't. The living room feels like a social experiment disguised as interior design. The couches have witnessed more plot twists than Netflix. Rappers appear in the doorway like NPCs spawning into a game. Conversations in 10 different rooms merge into one giant Aiden moment. And then there's the setup room. Honestly, calling it a setup is a bit disrespectful. It's an airport control tower made of RGB. It truly never sleeps. This house is awake even when he's not. Someone's always talking, walking, yelling, or accidentally going viral in the background. Honestly, it's not a home. It's a 24-hour casino where the only currency is clout. And the house itself just kind of accepts it. The walls look tired, like overworked employees who stopped asking questions months ago. The dining table hasn't been used for dinner since the Obama administration. There's even a guest room that feels like a side quest. People walk in there with one personality and walk out with a completely different lore arc. And the fridge? It's got items nobody brought. The Wi-Fi automatically connects to devices that you've never even seen before. I mean, the guy's funny, but that house has more NPCs than an open-world game. Amazing for content, terrible for knowing who's actually supposed to be there. Comfortable B tier because honestly, it feels a little too alive. At number 4, it's Kai Cenat and the $10 million Creator Playground. Kai's $10 million mansion is what happens when unlimited space meets unlimited energy. This isn't a home, this is a theme park that discovered taxes. You walk in and immediately feel like you're spawning into a new dimension. Laughter echoes from one room, music booms from another, somebody you've never met strolls past carrying props, and nobody questions it. But that's just normal here. The architecture is modern and massive, but none of it is being used correctly. Dining room? Filming area. Hallway, filming area. Guest bedroom, filming area. Usually with 3 ring lights, a fog machine, and some equipment that looks like it came from a science lab. Kai reorganizes his house like it's a YouTube cinematic universe. One day the living room is chill. The next day it's a full-on boxing ring. The next day it looks like a sitcom set. And there are props everywhere, lights everywhere, and people everywhere. The streaming room is the heart of the chaos, a glowing control center where history, memes, and confusion are all created in the same 10 minutes. Even the walls look like they're bracing themselves for impact. Kai's chairs don't get used, they get launched. His couches rotate more cast members than a reality TV show. Some corners of the house have lore now. And the backyard? Well, that changes personalities weekly. Slip and slide one day, music video shoot the next, trampoline Olympics on Friday, and the grass probably files noise complaints. Kai's energy is so unmatched that even the air feels caffeinated. And honestly, the scale of fun happening inside this house puts most mansions to shame. Kai basically lives inside a theme park powered by ring lights and adrenaline. If creativity had a headquarters, it would probably look like this mansion. I think an A tier suits it because the house has more personality than half of the internet combined. At number 3, it's KSI, the 12 million euro London fortress. Okay, KSI's fortress is what happens when an influencer evolves into a responsible adult with premium taste and a high-end security system. From the outside, it looks like the home of somebody who has meetings, investments, and probably a whole skincare routine. The hedges are tall, the gates are serious, and the house whispers wealth in a British accent. Inside, everything is sleek and spotless. It feels like a museum where the tour guide politely asks you to please breathe quieter. I will say though that the gym is impressive, heavy, polished, and extremely functional. I gotta say, this is not a decorative billionaire gym. This is where a man trains for fights, sweats out stress, and contemplates whether he should drop a diss track today. Oh, but the masterclass is the studio. It's silent. Too silent. Soundproof to the point where you could probably fight a dragon in there and nobody outside would even hear it. Even the lighting here feels expensive. The walls are so clean they look like they were installed last night. His sofas never experience chaos. It sits there like a furniture model posing for a catalog. You can honestly tell that nobody's ever jumped on it screaming or shouting memes. There's even a room in this house that exists only for thinking. Not for filming, not for music, not for reacting, just thinking. That alone proves adulthood hit KSI at full speed. Even the fridge probably has a schedule. But compared to the Chaos houses, KSI's mansion feels grown. Calm, strategic, the older sibling who has his life together. His house feels like what happens when your Minecraft base finally reaches endgame level. Everything's polished, everything is upgraded, and there's zero chaos allowed. It's calm, wealthy, grown man energy, and honestly, everybody ought to be proud of him. This is peak A tier right here. At number 2, it's Logan Paul with his $32.5 million estate. Okay, so Logan's mansion looks like a Marvel villain's headquarters that decided to retire and become an influencer. The house is just massive, loud in its silence, and aggressively expensive in a way that doesn't even try to hide it. You enter this place and suddenly you feel poorer. Every room is huge. The ceilings are tall enough to host their own weather system. The windows are so dramatic that they could star in a perfume commercial. And the living room is large enough to hold a press conference for a small country. Even the gym feels like a commercial gym where the membership fee starts at "please show proof of your wealth." And then you find the prime room, the shrine, the museum of hydration. Bottles glowing like historical artifacts discovered in a temple built by sponsorship deals. You just know that Logan steps inside sometimes, looks at the shelves dramatically and whispers, "Legacy." Outside, absolute madness. Palm trees, infinity pool. And compared to the other influencers, his house stands out because it knows exactly what it is, a giant flex. The air smells like someone monetized oxygen. The kitchen counter is so big that it probably has its own homeowners association. Logan's staircase looks like it was designed for dramatic entrances only. Nothing casual has ever walked down those steps. Oh, and the backyard? Yeah, it's not a backyard, it's a cinematic universe. The pool is so long it might qualify as a national waterway. His patio furniture looks too expensive to actually sit on. Everything there, you name it, it screams luxury. His estate looks like a billionaire side character hideout in a superhero movie. S tier because if any house is plotting a global takeover, it's definitely this one. In at number 1, it's Mr. Beast, the $30 million charity compound. Okay, so Mr. Beast's home is the biggest plot twist in influencer real estate because the house itself is aggressively normal. Yeah, it kinda looks like the place where someone politely asks if you'd like water, but the second you step outside, you realize you're standing in the center of a $30+ million YouTube empire. Jimmy didn't just buy a mansion though. This guy bought a small city dedicated purely to content. Warehouses, giant studios, stacked props, forklifts, moving challenge materials that cost more than most people's weddings. The whole compound is a living machine. Editors sprint around like they're in a relay race. Trucks beep in reverse. Workers build sets that look like they belong in a blockbuster movie. And his house is just kinda there. A small HQ where he sleeps, he eats, and occasionally breathes between filming the most expensive videos on the platform. Everything else is chaos disguised as productivity. Even the driveway feels industrial. There's cones, crates, forklifts, delivery trucks, and probably 3 editors crying over deadlines. And visitors don't just ring the doorbell, they have to check in at the loading dock. Every shed on the property contains something outrageous. 10,000 balloons, or 3 tons of slime, or a replica pirate ship that he used one time. And the grass never complains. Somehow, but it probably should. This compound has just seen way too much over the years. Honestly, at this point in time, this isn't even really luxury real estate. This is a mass intake of YouTube industrialization. This is the influencer version of building Rome in your own backyard, and all of the roads lead to it. Honestly, we've never seen a YouTube house work this hard. So we're gonna give it an S tier, because nobody else lives inside an entire functioning YouTube nation state like this guy does. Alright, this brings us down to you. Which of these influencer houses blew your mind the most? Make sure you drop your pick down in the comments and let us know why. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.